Online brand protection involves proactively taking measures to protect a brand's digital footprint in the areas of websites, domain names, social media, and mobile apps. The outcome of not having an online brand protection strategy in place could result in non-availability of website, revenue loss, diminished customer confidence and trust, as well as negative brand association. By employing an effective monitoring, prioritization, and enforcement strategies, organizations can ensure instances of brand abuse and misuse are minimized and dealt with in a timely and cost-effective manner. This often involves a combination of in-house and outsourced monitoring enforcement strategies. The proliferation of digital channels today also meant that digital assets can sit in different functional groups. So when this happens, it can mean a loss of control and lack of visibility on how they are being managed and secured. This could also translate to not having proper accounting of authorized users, service providers, and points of entries to your digital assets. So while companies are increasingly wanting to combat online threats these days, they may not necessarily have the tools and resources to monitor, prioritize, and enforce their rights. But the good news is you don't have to do it all by yourself. We do have providers out there who can help you to rationalize your digital portfolio. Very importantly, domain names are your critical assets, and more often than not, companies may not be paying too much attention on how they can secure their digital assets around domain names. So it could mean that they are not locking the domain names at the registry and registrar level. This might give rise to cyber squatters, hacktivists, and cyber criminals doing domain hijacking to your critical asset. You wouldn't know the problem until you deal with it or you do some proactive monitoring to find out what it is. As simple as domain names, there are so many top-level domain names and country code level domain names out there. It's very hard to track on who has registered your name or not. So in some sense, it's good to have some monitoring strategy to look into your important trademarks and brands and look into how they're being registered internationally. So sometimes from a compliance and infringement point of view, it's good to keep your eyes out there. And again, it's also another conversation a brand owner can have internally with the corporate affairs and with the lawyers to see whether they want to prioritize action against some of these infringements that they found on the website. Yeah, there are many ways. So I find it has to start from within. Internally within an organization, I think it's worthwhile to have a robust committee being set up comprising of leaders from IT, legal, security, and marketing who can meet regularly to discuss on strategies for your online brand. This group of leaders can really make a real and positive impact to your organization's digital strategy. In terms of what to monitor and who to go after, you really need to plan and budget accordingly. For instance, how big is your digital footprint? Do you have the capacity to detect the threats and take action against them? And which are your most valuable brands? By prioritizing your action, you can ensure that the budget is spent in the right areas. I think it's good to start small and then leave room to grow, because sometimes it can be overwhelming to decide on where to begin, particularly if you have multiple brands. So define your must-haves against your good-to-have, for instance, and then in this case, you take smaller steps for success and identify the right approach for each brand in your portfolio can actually mean that you are making decisions based on their brand and visibility online. Definitely have security in mind. I think this is really important. Remember that all digital channels are subject to threats. So ensure that your most important assets are secured. For instance, putting critical domain names on multi-log, nominate only the right users to manage your digital assets, and consider, for instance, two-factor authentication for portal access. You must have to work with a partner that has expertise across all digital IP of domain names, social media, mobile apps, SSLs, etc. And work with the providers that offers credible tools for delivering results and also offer analytical help to interpret those results.